Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Very well.
Do you have any questions so far? Have I confused you yet? I'm not trying hard. I'm afraid I
No.
haven't. All right. Hey, before we look at the site, I got a few questions I wanted to ask you. In regards to what's your experience. Um, what's your official occupation here besides do everything go for
Yeah.
Friday,
My
chief
title
everything?
currently is assistant office administrator, but I'm still mostly a legal runner.
Okay.
But I am responsible for pretty much all document assembly and production for our law firm.
Aha. So
Um,
you're our test audience.
yeah.
Wow. Awesome. You're our first one. You're actually official. I mean, you've been blessed. You get a paycheck for it. How many hours a week, just roughly, would you say you spend on the internet, including working or at home? Total, rough guess. It's the government here. We don't
Wow.
care. Just a rough idea. If it's more than 200 hours, we're going to recommend help.
Week. Let's see. How many hours are in a day? I'd say at least
You give it to
pretty
me
much
by the
like eight
week or
hours a
day.
day. Like so,
Really?
I would say at the very least 56 to about 100.
Okay, that's
I
pretty
play a lot of
substantial.
online gaming at home. I
Okay.
do graphic artwork at
Hmm.
home, so pretty much
You do graphic artwork?
a little bit, like not professionally, but I've photo edited a lot of gym's advertisements,
Hmm.
built them from scratch, which is another thing that is in my job.
Yeah.
That's not part of my job description.
Can you photo edit me and make me look thinner in the pictures I put on my dating sites?
Yeah, good.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
One famous one that I did actually, White Elephant Gift Exchange downstairs. I photoshopped a picture of Jim kissing an associate that had just made partner
Mm,
in Paris.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So just mostly for fun, but
yeah, excellent. Um, we might have additional work for you to do if you're interested. I don't know. It depends. Sometimes we need some graphic stuff done.
all right.
So I have an idea what sites you're on and what you do. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on our home page now, and I'm going to ask you. We don't have to do anything with it. All we need to do is, it shouldn't take that long to load. Nope, there we go. All right, we're good. Where are you? Just you don't have to do anything here. Just tell me where are you? What does this look like? What's this thing for?
Um, well, given the video, the PDF tools, and the exhibit package, I would say it's a website for either editing or putting together
Hmm.
documents, not just documents because videos on there, obviously. So presentations or documents to be used for a professional manner, but there there's not really a description on the user interface, so it is
Hmm.
a bit vague just
Okay,
from the first look at it.
so it needs to be prettier. Have some stuff on there so people know what's going on. Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. We tried to keep it simple, but we may have overdone the simple part just a teensy bit. All right.
I mean,
Well,
it's something as simple as like a bar on the top
yeah.
that just says like a document production program or document assembly or
Hmm.
just some sort of description of
Something easy.
yeah,
Doesn't have to be fancy.
right.
Okay. You know what? That's a great suggestion. I'm going to write that down. Look at that writing. I won awards in high school for my printing. I was in drafting.
Yeah, me too.
Nice, nice, perfect letters. Look where I've gone. Um,
Oh, mine's horrible.
my,
I failed the handwriting class.
my old instructor would literally beat me with one of those chalk bags that you use to dust drafting boards. Um, okay, I'm going to ask you to do some specific tasks now, and I'm gonna read them off a script. Um, what I'd like to do is read it first, and then I'll hand you a slip of paper with the same thing on it,
Okay.
so that you can look at it if you need to. Um, the first thing I'd like you to do is your job is you need to combine a number of images to be used as a single disclosure. There's a folder on the desktop right here.
Okay.
that has all the image files you need. I'd like you to combine them into a file and call it pictures.pdf.
Okay.
What are you thinking right now? How did you make the decision to go to that button instead of the other button?
To click to select.
Yeah.
Well, it said to drag and drop there. I seen it where at the bottom it says
Uh-huh.
you can drag and drop to add documents or click to select. Given that the folder was already open, figured it would be easiest just to drag and drop.
Okay.
Now, if I didn't have the folder open or if the documents were in various spots, I would have click to select just to browse through the folders and get to which one I need. But since the folder is already open, it's more convenient to drag and drop.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to follow
Yeah,
the
the
logic
process.
of what you're doing so that I can flow with it and understand what we need to do to make it work for real
Right.
people. We don't count as real people because we have an idea how it should be,
Right.
and that doesn't necessarily mean we're reflecting what everybody else thinks.
Right.
So where would we go from here?
Create PDF exhibit package. Just leave that there. I do see that there's a spot that says save as file name and the extension there. So
We wanted to call it pictures PDF. Oh, I didn't give you your little
Right.
slip with your directions. I'm sorry.
now see this is a little bit confusing.
Mhm.
It's checking off a lot of things that it says was done, adding bait stamps and whatnot, but I didn't see any specific instruction or direction on the page
Okay.
that gave me the option of adding bait stamps right away. I'm
All right, I'm gonna cheat at this point and tell
Okay.
you what to do.
All right.
You run into a brick wall here. You're actually in part 2.
oh
Go ahead and cancel. I'm gonna back you up here. Go up and refresh. Hit that refresh
Yeah.
circle up on the top. We're gonna go back to the beginning and click on PDF tools. That's what I want you to use to create that first one. And
okay.
you won't find all the confusing stuff in here, I hope.
All right.
So let's try it again. And again, I'd like you to name it Pictures PDF. These image files don't have any of those things on them.
Right.
You don't know that because you didn't look at them, but I did.
Okay. You said name it pictures.
Pictures PDF, please.
Oh, there it is. There we go.
Okay, hold on here. And you know what? I forgot to clear something before you started, so let me go ahead and do it. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to give you direction now. I want you to go someplace else and do
Okay.
something new. All right, you can stay right on the screen. You don't have to go anywhere here because I'm the one confusing you. The next task is to build a disclosures package. I want you to include the file, the pictures PDF. Hang on a second till I read it all, though. I read slow. Please include the pictures PDF file you just made. There's a folder in the desktop again containing all the additional files you're going to need right there. I want to rearrange the files so pictures PDF is last in the list too when we do this.
Okay.
And we're going to change the description of pictures PDF to logos. So I want to create an exhibits package at this point is your job.
Okay. think I have to resave pictures though because I don't see it over here.
Okay, go ahead and save it again if you want. Okay. So here's your written direction.
Oh, okay.
Just a second, I'm writing something. Where are you right now? What have you got?
The screen just changed. The boxes that displayed all the documents
Mhm.
just went away, and then pictures popped up twice. I think it's because I moved that first and then tried to add the other two, but now it's just displaying the two pictures.
Okay. Well, we only need one. Let's try dropping those files again, see what happens.
Yeah, see, there was something I didn't notice when I initially dropped it was the status here.
Oh, that's still going?
Yeah,
I see.
under page number is still converting. I think that might have been why it disappeared before because everything was still pending and converting when I went to go drop the second.
I actually didn't know it could do that, so I learned something new right here. I didn't
All
know
right.
that you could make them go away. So we got to look at that.
And
All right.
Pictures. Let's see.
I want to change that to logos. And what else did I ask? I think that was it for that
Make
direction.
pictures last.
Make it last. Okay. Well, our next job is going to be prepare a disclosures document that includes a table of contents for what you just made. So what I want to do is download the table of contents. My notes say to the desktop, but it's actually going over here.
Was I supposed to export this already, or
No.
Okay.
No. Just when you finish that, all you got to do is wait for the next direction.
Okay.
We're going to prepare that disclosure statement to go in here.
Okay.
So we're going to download the table of contents to the desktop, and that's your next job. And we're going to open it with Word. It's not a test of using Word, so we'll walk through that together if we need to.
You said download the table of contents.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, table of contents.
What we're going to do with that table of contents page is we're going to open it with Word, and then we're going to copy the table inside of it.
Just the table?
Just the table, yes, sir. Did you know you could do this with these things? If you click on that little plus arrow, yeah, it gives you that, and it just does the table. I didn't know.
I like that.
I guess that's an Apple feature. I've been using Windows too long.
Oh yeah, I use
Okay.
PC for everything.
Then what I'd like to do is open initial disclosures, and I want to paste it inside where it says paste here. So let me just scroll down a little bit to see it. Oh, right there. If you will paste it in there. Oh, you got to use
Yeah, like I said,
the Windows button here
Okay.
and V, because
Thank you.
yeah, it's evil Apple. Oh, you have done these before, haven't you?
a little bit.
Yep. Okay, now we have that. Do me a favor and save that as initial disclosures 1. You're gonna have to go another line up in the top. and do a save as up here where it's a file. That's another thing I can't get used to with this.
And save it as what?
Uh,
Initial
initial
disclosure
disclosures
ones.
1. And you can save that back in here.
There we
it
go.
is. Okay. Initial disclosures 1. Okay, you can close both of those Word windows. Little red button on the far left there. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now
No, that one too.
oh yeah. Our next task is going to be to add the initial disclosure document to the exhibits package. So we're going to add that document to the other documents.
I know it doesn't say it here, but is it supposed to go in after the pictures that we set last, or
Well, actually,
the front of the document?
it needs
right?
to go up the
Yeah.
front, but I mean, it does. That's the next step, actually.
Oh. Sorry, like I said, I've done
That's
these
okay.
before, so
I understand. That's why I was
jumping ahead a little bit.
That's why I'm happy to use you today.
Alright, so save it as a PDF.
I want to name it disclosures. All right.
All right.
Go ahead and double click on that and let's have a look and see what's inside. What did we just make? Because I don't know about you, I'm pretty excited about it. Let's scroll down through it. I didn't see our cover document in there. Did it end up last? We had the list of exhibits, but that should have been too.
That, yeah, it ended up last.
Okay. Tell you what, let's go ahead and close this and see if we can go back and fix that. How would we maybe fix?
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. The fist of power. And is there anything
There we go.
else you might need to look at on the page? And now that we have that, I believe that's correct this time.
Okay.
Should we create an exhibits package again?
All right.
And let's go ahead and leave the name the same,
Okay.
so it'll overwrite. Oh, no, it won't. It just automatically named it 1. I don't care. Let's take a look at this one. There we go. That's what we wanted. Very good.
Can you guys go back up? Yeah, I wanted to see the table of contents right there, that first, right in there.
Yeah, the right justification.
No, no, he's on the table, 49 through 54, that's still correct, right? Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Mhm.
I don't know. They're in the office. I'm happy. It looks good.
So am I understanding this right? This list of exhibits and these slip sheets are being automatically generated by the program?
Uh-huh.
That's very neat.
Ah, see? You've done it the hard way. You're looking at, like, I got to print them,
Oh, yeah.
then I got to separate them, then I got to put interleaves, then I got to copy them, then I got to print it again with Bates numbers.
Yeah, no, I just actually did one yesterday. I had a 41 exhibit document, and I went through. I made the slip sheets first and scanned them in, and then I had to go through and insert documents
Mm-hmm.
behind each of the 41. I had to go through and do it 41 different times to insert all the documents into the right place.
And that took you how long?
The whole process,
The whole
probably
process.
2.5, 3 hours.
How long did it take you to make this one? About
10 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
And that's because you've
That's
never
I
done it
keep
before.
stopping too. Yeah.
And I keep talking
Yep.
in the middle of it. Go ahead and close that one. Hit the red button in the upper left corner.
All right.
Okay, very good. You know what? I just noticed something. The exhibits are numbered, but our party's the defendant, and the labels need to be alphabetic. Can we go back and change those to A, B, and C? And also, we need to make them disclosures instead of exhibits. Yeah.
Format
yes.
matter. Okay.
The court also is requiring the Bates numbers to be 3 digits long and in red. Could you fix that too? Make the Bates numbers 3 digits long and red.
Man, that is cool.
Because we changed the table of contents when we changed that to alphabetic characters, we're also going to need to redo the cover document. So we're going to need to go back and do the same thing, download the table of contents page again, and reinsert it in that original disclosure document so we can add it back in.
Okay.
So we're going to need to download the table of contents and paste it in the cover document as before.
Dropping into the cover, so this one should be removed.
Hang on, remember this we have to paste. So you'll need
Oh,
to,
yes,
you'll need to
into the
double-
document itself. So
You'll need to double click that, and whichever one it.
what was that one, right?
Yeah, that's the
first one.
we need to paste into, and we need to get the contents out of contents 1. Let's be sure that's yep. It
Yep.
changed them. So.
But pages all seem the same. 49 to 54. Copy.
If we could save that one as disclosures 2, I guess, or something like that. Just so we know it's a different one.
Right.
Okay. So we can close that, and we're going to need to do the same thing as you did before. I missed what you. Go ahead and move that.
Okay.
I missed what you did.
Where'd it go? Oh, there it went.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that was right.
Is initial disclosures one? That was the
Yeah,
old
I have to
document.
remove that. Just there we go. There.
Okay. And no other changes. Let's save that to the desktop. We'll call it disclosures 1 or something. I don't know. I'm getting lost in the names here. Let's make it 3, and then I won't get lost.
Okay. Disclosures 3.
And
Open it.
let's open it and see what we made. Okay, we should have exhibits in the index
Goodness.
as, okay, A's and B's.
And
And
still 14.
let's scroll down and check our Bates numbers and make sure Bates numbers are good.
That's good as well. Disclosure A.
Yep, and there they are. Nice red. Bam, you done it. You did the complicated one, and I didn't give you good directions halfway through here. I messed up, but you,
No, it's,
you figured it out anyway.
Relatively simple.
Well, you're doing it the hard way. I'm not telling
Right.
you shit about it. I mean, normally if we sat down, I'd walk you through one, but I'm
Right.
training you. So
Exactly.
let me go see if my audience has anything they want.
Okay.
I'm going to ask before we wrap up.
Thank you, Neil. We
No
appreciate
problem.
this. I have more questions if you don't mind.
Okay.
Let's go back to the very first page, the magicexhibits.com.
Oh.
See if you just want to close that. The red button on Mac closes.
The difference with somebody who's actually
I haven't used the
done
Mac since I was in high school.
So go all the way up
That
to
was
the
a
top
little
and
more
click on
challenging.
Magic Exhibits.
You heard
When
an
you
hour
got
and
to
a half
here,
yesterday.
and here's where we're going to
4
add
minutes
a
today.
video to explain it.
Right.
When you see PDF tools, what do you think? Because you immediately went and combined the logos into one
Right.
package, which would have been okay. There was actually a way from there, but what would we should have named that to like let you know to combine photos there?
Under PDF tools.
Mm-hmm. Because we put the little wrench right there,
Right.
so that's
Just
where you
maybe
can-
PDF editing or something. That's the only issue I really had with it. Where I was confused at part, like you said, you were adding a video, but there's no really steps to get started. Like you have 2 buttons here, but you don't really. There's no explanation of which one is going to get you started. Like if I just went to the site firsthand, I would expect like there's a getting started. Step 1, click PDF tools to choose your documents. Step 2, go into make exhibit package for inserting documents and creating disclosure or combined package.
Okay.
Now, given that there wasn't said, make exhibits package, that description alone is what suggested to me that I was going to be combining exhibits,
Which you did.
to combining
Which you
them
did.
together, yes.
So when you were there at the Make Exhibits package, go ahead and click on that one.
Okay.
You could have unclicked the table of contents and divider pages. You could have unclicked all that and still combined your photos
Right.
He also would have needed to go turn off Bates numbers.
and Bates numbers. Turn off
Yeah.
Bates numbers. Yeah,
It can work.
it
but it's
could have
kind of-
worked.
It's kind of annoying.
but
It's much easier to use the PDF tools.
did you like that you could combine it in?
Yes. No, yeah, that was very helpful.
Okay.
Like I said, the thing works great. I really,
So here's what I wanted to get like for our like little reference and on tape so that we could like combine it is if you were out in the regular technological world and I've talked to people, they don't believe me when I talk about the process that we go through to build an exhibits package.
Right.
And we called this one disclosures, but how often do you create a 16.1 disclosures after everybody's put in the actual work? You're just doing the documents. About how many times a week do you build one?
all the time. It depends. It varies with our workload, but a lot of times, like every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And if it's not the disclosures, it's the exhibits package for trial.
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah,
it's a
I assemble every single exhibit that goes through our office. All the trial exhibits, all the hearing binders, all the disclosures. I put them all together myself, and I do it pretty much every day, all day.
So what's that procedure? Boss hands you
Um,
something and says, I need you to assemble this.
Well, like hearing binder, I'll go through. Usually, we just have all the pleadings. I'll go through to the court's website. I'll save every document that I'm going to be using, and I'll label it 1, 2, 3, 4, which tab it's going to be, and then I'll go through, print every single one of them out, tab it, and then I'll go back after it's tabbed and sit there and flip through and type up an index just by going with each document name and date.
So now here we had grabbed the file names. Was it intuitive to you that you could have changed that description without the file name?
He found it real easily.
He
He
found
just
it.
double click right on it.
Yeah,
It
and
became active.
as far as general computer knowledge, like you hover over it, there's no question that little pencil next to it means I can edit it. So I knew
Okay, so
as soon
that
as
was
I was
good.
hovering over it that I had the options to grab it and move it with the hand, to edit it with the pencil, or to delete it with the X.
So now, you know how when you download them off the court website, sometimes you get TIFFs and sometimes you get PDFs.
I hate that.
Is it helpful that this is automatically going to convert it?
Yes, very.
You can throw a TIFF at it and it'll automatically change it to a PDF, just transparently.
By the way, camera, he's grinning and it's really big.
No, it is. We use a photo editing program that we got from one of our copier companies downstairs. Not photo editing, sorry. PDF converter program. It is super slow. I go on everybody else's computer because to open a TIFF image from the court, it takes literally like 2 to 3 minutes every time I go to open the document. And that's if it doesn't freeze and take 5.
So the fact that it's going to convert it right here and combine it is actually very helpful to you.
Yes, very.
Okay. And then you found easily where you could change it from exhibits.
Not to mention that also raises the possibility that people without a PDF converter program, because you have to pay for them, you have to license them, and businesses, that's fine. But if you're doing this stuff as an intern or in school, or you're doing it for any other purposes, it negates the need to have a converting program to get them all.
That's the idea.
And is it intuitive? Like, I know we've got the drop down. You found right away to change it to disclosure. Is it intuitive that you could change it to not just be disclosure? I mean, now it is because I guess it's blinking, but
Right. That
He found
you
that
told
on
me to go to
YouTube.
disclosure. I went there again. Basic knowledge of a computer. Anytime there's a setting symbol like that, you know that you can edit it.
okay.
Click the setting symbol. That being said, again, somebody that's not computer savvy or not on a computer as much as I am, it could be helpful to say, like, to break it up a little with the sections, because you see it and there's a blank box there. It says to drag and drop, and it comes up with the name and whatnot. But without knowing what I'm doing or the intention, it might be a little intimidating. Like if it was just something as simple as a line that said step 1, select features, add divider pages, add table of contents. Step 2, choose.
So now this is interesting because we had that in prior versions, but you are actually our target market, not the actual newbie user, because you're going to use this every day.
Right.
So when we were looking at an advanced user, do you think other people in your field actually would know, hey, I'm just going to
Oh,
whip
yeah,
through
especially-
this, so don't
and
give me the training wheels.
Especially if there was, like I said, just on the first page, the video you were talking about, or just a simple instruction, step 1, step 2. Once I sat there and looked at it, observed the page, it was very easy to use. It was very fluid. Again, like I said, it was kind of
So
caught up
then-
a little bit on the Apple.
When
You're
the
welcome to
table
test
of
that, too.
contact, when you had, like, go ahead and open up one of these, just not the word disclosures, the PDF. It takes a minute. This is an older computer. On this table of contents, did you realize those were hyperlinks?
I did not.
Okay.
That is cool.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any particular way we could have made that hyperlinky to you?
Just blue with a line on the bottom. General.
Yeah. The problem
Problem
is
is-
then it prints in blue with
Does
a
it?
line underneath it. We haven't figured
Does
out.
it do
Okay.
that if it only happens when you hover?
I don't know if you can do that in PDF.
Yeah, that's a good question, though. Okay.
But not looking at it, scrolling over it, like just going past the page, I wouldn't have noticed.
And
You see
you
the
notice
hand
it,
change, and oh yeah, that right there.
Go
there's
to page 8. Okay.
Okay, yeah. No, that's
Okay.
good.
Do you think, going back to the so I guess go back here. Close that. Click OK. We're
Yeah,
done with that. When you were down here, would it have been more helpful, or not have been more helpful? Was it was it necessary? Because Ed actually told you as he walked you through the directions. All right, change your table of contents changed because it went from A to B,
Right.
and then you caught on about, oh, I need to. Would it have been helpful to have little pop-ups that said, did you changed your exhibit label? Do you need to change your cover document? Would that be necessary or just irritating?
I could see how it would be both, really. Like, if you're using the program all the time and it does still come up, like, if you've been using it all the time, it would be irritating.
Is it possible
Don't
to
show
turn
this
those
again.
things off?
Now,
Turn off extra tips?
Don't,
Yeah.
yeah, don't
Another-
show this again.
another idea,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, give us
Spitballing
any
here.
ideas.
having a tab at the top that would just say features and would tell you the different things that you could do with it, and just maybe like screenshotting this, like change your exhibit page, and then it has like a screenshot of this little logo here and would explain what that feature did. Something like a separate page that you could go to see how to do it, to get just simple instruction for it, and then go back to the photo editor or the document editor, I keep saying photo, and do it yourself.
Okay. That's a great little idea. Not a little idea, it's a little tip. I get it. But, all right, when you combined those 41 exhibits,
Yeah.
let's go back through the procedure one more time.
Okay.
So, Jim comes to you, says, get this ready.
Mhm.
You said you print them all out, so now you wouldn't have to print them out. You could just upload them.
Right.
And so that time to print them all out took you how long to do 41? And you have super fast printers.
Now, that was, for the purpose, I can't accurately say how long it would have taken because I combined them all just so it wouldn't take even longer. Now, going through and combining, making the slip sheets, combining them all together, it took, like I said, 2.5, 3 hours now. Mind you, my job's very sporadic.
Right,
It could
so
have been
you get-
interrupted somewhere in between, but
Right, okay.
I would have to guess about 2.5, 3 hours of work. That was just so I wouldn't have to open each one, go through, because the system that we have set up now changes the dialog box each time. I would have to go through and change the settings for each 41 of those documents.
To explain it to like the average bear, right?
Mhm.
What you're actually doing is you're printing one full set and then you're copying it 3 more times, right? Through the Xerox machine because that's faster than doing the PDF. That's how most attorneys were doing it.
Yeah,
Which is
no,
terrifying.
that's general trial production, especially with trial, because there's so many documents. We would go through, get each of the documents, print out the slip sheets, hand put them together, scan them in, then go through and print 5 or 6 sets, and have to go through and hit the slip sheets and tab them all after that. But yeah, no, just assembling and putting together the documents, it takes an excessive amount of time. Even yesterday, our paralegal Shahana, we had a deposition. She spent 6 or 7 hours yesterday putting together the initial first set of exhibits to give to me so I could copy it for the depot, and it took her so long that I had to leave before she was even done with it.
Got it.
So basically, you're saying that if you had access to this program, you could take all your work home and tell people you stayed up all night doing it.
Yes, yes, or just
And
save
actually
myself a
accomplish it
tremendous
within
amount of time.
minutes.
Amber,
All right.
when you're done, I
But
have
you
a
don't
couple
want that,
questions.
though.
Right. So now let's go back to these pictures. When you put these in here, you had downloaded it and then re-added it, which was totally okay. Would it have been more obvious if this had been green and said add to exhibits package? Would that have said to you next? Because it was yellow, was it caution as opposed to green, go forward?
Yeah, actually a little bit. I have to admit, every time that he said to export it or combine it, my eyes just kind of passed over the yellow button. He would say, "No, you need to download the table of contents," and oh, there it is. It didn't apply to me because blue, like you said, it seems like submit, done. Yellow is kind of like, hey, what are you doing?
Okay. So if it had
See what we
been
can do. Okay.
a different
Or
color-
even if they were both the same color, I mean, just having one yellow and one blue makes the one on the left kind of dismissive.
Okay. All right. David had more questions. Let me switch spots. Neil, if we haven't said it enough, let me say it a couple, 5 or 6 more times. This is really, really helpful. We appreciate you.
Well, I'm
taking
glad
the
I can
time.
help.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, I just have a couple quick questions.
Okay.
First of all, based on what you do in your job, is this program in its current condition, would it be able to help you?
Oh yes.
Does this actually do what you need it to do?
Yes.
Is there anything that you're currently doing when you're assembling exhibit packages that this program does not do? Any additional work you would need to do?
One thing that might be helpful, and I know this is just post-assembling it, is have the option of, and I don't know if it was already on there, have the options for the cover sheets to be colored. Because a lot of times when I'm printing and I'm going through, I have to tab it afterwards. The exhibit sheets are colored, they're a lot easier to make out when you're going through and trying to find where the document ends. Now having a Bates stamp, I can go through and obviously just look at the index and see where the page separates. But it does save a lot of time if you print it in color to just be able to look for that pink sheet in there.
So would you
So would you
prefer?
want the entire sheet to be colored?
Yeah.
And you,
Yeah, I don't know that we can do that.
We can't.
And again, that's
I mean, from a technical perspective, it's not
right.
hard.
Well, but if you're all of a sudden you used all your yellow toner, you'd freak out.
Well, that's why I haven't done it.
there is that.
But if
You could
if
do a
instead,
border.
what if it? Geez, that goes against the rules, though. We'd get in trouble for that.
For what?
The rules require us on our exhibits cover. It's not supposed to have a border. It's supposed to have it on the
No,
top or the bottom of the
I'm
this
talking
or that.
about an additional page just to help him separate. Because you're not going to put the pink pages in the final package either, are you? Does that
We
go-
frequently do. So like it comes
But what you
together,
usually do is you load the printer with colored paper.
and you tell
Yeah,
it page
okay.
6 and page
And interleave
7 are red, and the printers now will go, oh, I'll add page 6 and page 7 right in. It prints it. The printers are smart enough to do that.
And again, that's
I don't
something
know if
that's only really helpful for post-production is as far as assembling the exhibits, a lot of times everything's filed electronically, emailed, so there it doesn't play in very much. And even just, like I said, you already have a table of contents and the Bates number page is listed. It's not
Right.
going to be hard to separate the documents. It's just one little thing that might...
Let me ask
One
you a question. When do you need to separate the documents as you're doing what?
When you
all of
actually
our...
put the physical
Yeah.
tabs in.
After we
Okay,
print
the
it and
color
go to
tabs.
put it in a binder with the side tabs, we physically print it. And
Okay, well, again, I'm going back to print something identifying on the edge of the page. It doesn't use a lot of ink, and you can pull it out and put a tab in instead. He's
Yeah,
pulling that sheet out and separating.
I've done this a few times when because our copiers can copy with the tabs in them, and I didn't want to go through and like copy 20 documents. I would go through and write the number of the tab on the bottom right corner because I could just go like that,
Mhm.
flip through,
the
and see that number, and I knew where that page would be.
That's
So even just like
similar to
something
what
as
I'm
simple
saying.
as that, something that's just easy to see as you're
So
flipping
Well,
through.
actually, I think there is already something.
Is there?
No.
Oh.
Based on the way you did it, the default configuration is that in the document there are Bates numbers on all the document pages, but there are no Bates numbers on the divider pages.
Right.
So you could just flip through looking at the Bates numbers,
Yeah,
and when you
you
see a
said that.
blank page, that's a
You
document.
see,
Yeah.
but it's actually easier, believe it or not, when we do this, if you put like a blob of blue at the bottom when you hit it. So like if you could add a little dot at the bottom, like right hand corner with the number, like like a pool ball, how the
That's
numbers
a
are
great idea because putting a blob with a number in it is not against the rules.
is not against the rules. Yeah.
But yeah, no, just
Would that
something is
help?
that even the number black and
Post-production
white, a color blob would be even better because it catches your eye easier.
Well,
But
it would print black and white. You could
Yeah.
you could do a color set. So like maybe and we'll talk about that. But you're saying
Yeah.
that would be a helpful thing.
yes,
Okay.
and again, like I said, that's purely for in-house. I have to assemble physical documents to take to court. It wouldn't play in at all serving or
Right.
giving the document to the court at all. But
And then the other thing was
Blob is a good
something that we
Yeah,
touched
good
on
analogy,
before.
blob.
Good.
The original vision for how the site would work, which I don't think we're
Technical.
communicating very well,
Yes.
is that this I think you understand pretty well. This is for,
Yes.
combining the exhibits together in a
Right.
package. This was basically supposed to be for preparing individual exhibits
Yeah.
before you put them in the package. And it could be a bunch of different things. It could be, what you did, which was taking a bunch of JPEGs and combining it into one document, or you can actually use this for converting TIFFs to PDFs. So, for example, there we go. So, like, this is a document downloaded from the court. That's odd. Is it only one thing? How big? Maybe that one's bigger. Anyway, it'll handle multi-page TIFF documents, so you can just drop a TIFF document in here, and it'll automatically convert it to a PDF. And when it's done, you can save that. And here's a PDF version of your TIFF.
That was quick too.
Yeah, well, that was the idea. It actually does it right in the browser. It doesn't upload it anywhere. It just does it all right locally on your computer. So the
That is
idea
cool.
was that the PDF tools, well, it does a whole bunch of different things. All of the different things were oriented around preparing individual exhibits. So you would use the PDF tools to prepare your individual exhibits, and then you would use the package thing for packaging them together.
Right.
But I don't think we're communicating that properly.
It's definitely, I don't feel like it was touched on very much during this. But yeah, no, that is quite helpful itself. Because like you said, you could go through and add bait stamps to each exhibit and then go through, if for some reason they had to be bait stamped separately. A lot of times I've dealt with that in MedMail where we bait stamp the exhibits based on the facility that they come from. Like the bottom one exhibit would be all of Mountain View Hospital's records, the next would be Summerlin Hospital records. So they would actually
Okay.
have the hospital name indicated on each exhibit. And I could go through.
And would the numbers
Yeah.
restart or not?
Yeah, it would be an entirely different prefix, and the numbers would start over with the next one.
Okay. And even though you didn't change it, you saw here how you can set the prefix and the suffix. And if
Yeah.
necessary, you can actually, if you're doing a second set and you want it to start at a certain number, you can even set the initial number.
Right.
Okay.
One,
Um,
I got a PDF question for me.
Yes.
Do you encounter a lot of locked PDFs? You get a file from somebody and the damn thing's locked.
Absolutely. Especially
How do you
one of
fix
our
it?
specific
How do you
clients.
fix it? Of course, they're doing it to mess with you.
Um,
How do you fix that? What do you do? Print it out and copy it again, or
Usually I put in the password. I'm usually given the password, but if I can't edit, most of the time, yeah, I print it out, scan it in, go in again. If it'll let me save it, I'll just obviously resave it as a different name, but
when you drop a PDF into this, it automatically takes all those locks off. They're gone.
that is
that's,
nice.
that's a nice second.
I like that too. We get that so many times. There's one client back
Yeah.
east that will never send us anything that's not locked and password protected, and I carry their password around in my wallet because it's so aggravating. Every day I get them.
If it requires a password, you still have to enter the password. But once you've entered the password, you can resave it, and the version that you save has all the all the permissions removed, so you can do with it whatever you want.
I like that.
There
Okay.
was one thing you said, and I
But you don't have to
missed
do
it.
it for this.
There
You
was a
just drop it
question
in,
about
they're
like
locked,
arrows
right?
or pluses, and you said,
If
"Oh, that
there's a
didn't make sense.
password, you still have to enter the password.
I use PCs
I didn't
what
know
was
that. I
it?
thought we-
that had the
Lock
pluses."
is
Um,
there's a way to lock it without password protecting it. If
I
it's
can't
not
remember when I
locked,
said
no
that.
Or was
password.
it on
It's just-
the?
no,
Lock,
I think
you
it
don't
was
notice
during
it.
Word.
But if it's locked and password protected,
just
you do still have
Okay.
to enter the
So it
password.
using
wasn't-
something
it
here.
wasn't
It
on
wasn't
our
anything
site.
to do
It
with
does
your
not-
site.
it
No,
does
it
not
was
bypass
just
the
Okay.
password.
like you said, and that was a bit
Password.
difficult for
I
me
was
'cause-
thinking we should
I
remap
thought it
the
was
keys
pretty
because I'm
weak
like,
security,
no, Control C
reading some
needs
of
to
the
be
stuff
Control C,
back
damn
when we
it.
started.
Oh yeah, no, that's what it was. This was
Certified information we can go for.
I was trying to
Locking-
paste into
locking
the
without
disclosure. I was
password
trying to
protection
paste the
is
table into there, and I
security,
hit
like we talked
Control
about
V,
with
and it
release
didn't do
date.
anything. So I went
If you
through
actually
and
password
Yes.
protect
Okay.
the,
All right.
that's actually
We need to
moderately
remap
secure. As long
Because
as you
I
pick a good
swear-
password.
Does it
I've always
scramble?
been a PC
Yes.
user. Like I've
Okay.
Yeah, it
remapped
actually
one because I'm
encrypts the
like,
whole
what?
file,
No.
and the encryption is actually pretty
All right.
good. It's
This
high
one
quality
is pretty
encryption.
cool. Do you guys have other questions?
I don't think so. Do you have any other comments or anything? Anything that we didn't ask you about?
nothing I
Any
can think of. I pretty much
suggestions?
covered everything. Like I said, it's very straightforward, easy to use. The only thing that I might think need to be changed is a help tab or change
Yeah.
the user interface to direct people where to go initially. But other than that, it's
Okay.
So sign up for your own account because pretty soon we're gonna start charging for it. But you know,
Right.
you're special. We like you.
Sweet.
And there's actually two versions. There's the old version, which is if you type www.magicexhibits, and press enter. This is the old version.
Yeah, actually, let's have him run through. Can you do basically the same thing now with this old version?
Okay. This is a pretty old.
We're
Pretty
close
old.
on time. This bro's gonna be here in a minute.
Oh yeah, we got about 2 minutes.
That's okay. He can do this quickly. Just create an exhibits package and let's see, because we know how the PDF tools work.
Right.
Oh, that was the stuff you were asking about with all the description.
Yeah.
That front page had all that.
Yeah, no, I was reading that, and I
Yeah.
did notice that.
So that actually
that's
would have been
kind
helpful.
of what I was talking about.
Okay.
Just the video. Do you have all your exhibits ready to combine and bait stand?
That was
That's it.
helpful.
That's
so we
right
need to
there.
go
Yeah.
back
Okay,
to that.
so that's better.
No, that was
All right.
helpful. Okay.
All right, that's
Yeah. See the distinction between combining the full
Right.
document and the individual.
okay.
Yeah.
So that is helpful.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right, so we'll probably add that back on.
Oh, because he's trained user.
And the interface is, well, as you can see, it's pretty different,
Right.
even though the basic functionality is actually the same. It does the same stuff, it's just the controls are in different places.
And then see, this one had the next
Right.
sections.
Remember you were talking about the
Right.
wizard thing? This one works like a wizard. And this one doesn't have the ability to add a cover document.
Right. Doesn't have. We thought the cover document was actually very helpful. Because like that
Yeah.
one doesn't
On
have
this
it.
one, what you would
You have
actually
to
have to do is you would have to create the entire exhibit package with Bates numbers and everything, and then when you're all done, go into PDF tools and
And
attach
just
the
combine
cover
it.
document to the beginning. So it was a whole separate step with a lot more,
Which
effort.
is
I
still
gotta
better
be
than how
honest.
we were doing it. Oh, that was a glitch that we
Ah.
discovered because you added it second,
Yeah.
and you weren't signed in, so it won't do the word. Okay, but you had a question.
As far as the interface goes,
Mhm.
I like the interface on the newer version better.
Okay.
Where it had everything there and the
Right.
little editing tools and
yep.
moving it up and down, the dialog box all in one spot.
Okay.
I do like the
I don't actually know if
interface.
this will work. I think this was a glitch in here.
Right.
Okay. This is a glitch in the old version.
There was about 5 people in his office that do this stuff.
You know, how many people are in your office that put together the exhibits? Because I know
me, Corey, occasionally Trevor, Shahana,
because Shahana said she would love to come do one of these tests.
Patricia. I think that's about it. We used to have a lot more, but we're kind of running a skeleton group,
There's gonna be 5 signups.
so that just means I do more.
Okay.
Well, so we should ask Shahana next, and maybe Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor. I know he doesn't. He does some of it. I do most of it, but he's been working in the legal field for like 20 years. So
he's your file clerk guy, right?
Yes.
That's taken over, and now everything's filed, and everybody can find everything.
yes,
That dude.
yes, yeah. No, he's been in the field long enough, so he should have.
You know what's gonna
All
happen.
right. So on this page, you can move them around and edit them.
Everybody's gonna
But
see.
the idea is you would add them all in, then you would pick all of your settings,
So,
Right.
and then once you've done that, you would
Yeah.
click next. Go ahead and click next, and then
So we wanna
that's
should be an actual user.
when you click next.
Well,
That's
we
the
want-
equivalent of the
New version.
actually generating the package.
Oh, but that's
And before, I didn't see an option. This just might be something that was added in newer. I didn't see the option on the first step or anything to
But those are steps that we
export a
wanna
table of
accomplish
contents.
anyway. You still want to test newer.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
No, there isn't.
This-
Right.
Well, actually, it's here.
audience,
Right.
right.
But testing people with experience to see how the upgrade.
And see, and that's the other thing that I like about it before is that you could download the table of contents
Right.
before going through all the steps and then insert it.
Right. And that's why we changed it that way. So.
Well, that was helpful.
Anyway, what I wanted to tell you before you go is this is the old one, www.magicexhibits.com. The one you used is at test.magicexhibits.com.
Okay.
And it does actually work. So, and you can set up
But just
an
because it
account.
works right now,
So
that's
you
where
would,
that's where we're going to do all of the. So
Right.
whenever you do it, you're going to be beta testing.
Right.
The version that we're saying works is actually the regular version.
But the test version is live if you want to
Okay.
use it. Go ahead.
No, I definitely.
And you can
I'd like
allow
you to do me a
users.
favor.
Yes.
don't tell the rest of the office about the
No.
test version
Right.
because we want to.
Oh, until they actually come up and do one of these.
I'm happy if they go on the first one and you show them how to use it. That'd be great. But until they actually come up and do the test, I want to see how the new upgraded new version is.
How the
when they
test
We
test
want
it.
to see how they do using
Yeah.
the new version for the first
If
time.
they're
Right.
using it as it's going,
Right. If they've used it
Right.
before, it's
No, of course.
So you keep that under your hat.
Will
Don't
do.
swear your brother into.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
let's stop the recording.
Yeah.
You have any other questions for us?
No. I'm really excited to give it a try.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We really appreciate it.
Wait,
Oh,
wait,
hey,
let's just stop
wait.
the recording first.
Oh,
Stop
yeah.
the recording first.
Okay. Where's my glasses?
I can do it.